It's day 4, number 215.
And here we are. We are so motivated.
Well, I try to switch up the intro every now and then just to keep people on their toes.
Oh, you keep me on my toes.
You never know. You never really know what's going to happen. It could shade, 50%. I entered, hey, welcome to day 4, number 215. 50%, I come in with like a new intro.
There you go. It's almost like a coin toss.
Like a coin toss. It is.
I watched the last 2 shows.
Like, we don't get into anything like that on day 4. We'll say that right off the hopper. We kind of stay out of the professional fishing realm. We touch on it if there's something about key baits, lures, patterns, techniques that kind of play into the show. We've had Kyle Cordiana, Luke Palmer, Travis May. We've had a number of guys over the years that are on that are pro, but for the most part, it's nuts and bolts, how to catch bass fish a number of different ways.
Right.
But every once in a while, you were a professional angler, Frank.
Yeah, for 12 years or 11, 12. Who knows? Who knows how long? It was long. Yeah, I don't know, man. I watched the 2 shows. I was very curious. I watched the impromptu show where you had everybody on. And I was 50-50. I agreed. Here we go. Boo, coin toss. Do I agree or disagree? I was kind of 50-50 with, half the event's scope, half the event's no scope. Felt honestly, I would probably compete better at this stage, no scoping, me personally, because that's how I grew up fishing and that's how I spent my whole career fishing. But I have to say, I use scope to enhance my conventional way of bass fishing, and I would be blind without it at the moment, because I was fishing 2 weeks ago and my transducer went out on my forward facing, and I was absolutely annoyed beyond belief, because I'm so used to, now I can see what I'm casting at and I can hit it on the first time. And I'm so used to using that like more than my 2D sonar now, for conventional fishing.
Well, you're just part of the problem, Frank.
Yeah. And so what happened was I called Scott at the Bass Tank and said, holy crap, something's going on. I got this weird thing. And he walked me through it. And we found out that the internal compass was not good in the transducer. So he walked me through a roundabout way to get around it for the time being. And then my carbon on my dashboard crapped out on me. Literally, it was going on and off for a while, but that day it finally just said, we're done with you. Yeah. So I wound up buying new units from Scott, and
that was last week when you were waiting on them to get in.
Yeah.
And then they came in. So are you up and good to go?
Yeah. So it we'll probably talk about that. It just depends on.
It does. For those who don't know, so Bassmaster came out. The Bassmaster Elite Series, the top level of professional fishing. They were ruling on whether or not you could use forward-facing sonar in the 2026 season. And they came out and said it'll either be 50-50 or 60-40 yes or 60-40 no. And we're going to flip a coin to decide which of the first 8 are use of forward-facing sonar or none. Says Bass Reveal which tournaments will allow forward-facing sonar on a live show September 4th, 10 a.m. Central Time with Tommy, Mark, and Davey Height. So literally, they're going to flip a coin, and, if the first 4, the way I understand it, if the first 4 come up, no scope, then the last 4 will be scope. If it alternates, once it gets out of whack, there's a chance, you flip it 6 times and the last 2 are or aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's 9 events. So then Lake, the Thousand Islands is its own flip. It's its own independent flip. So it's either going to be slightly over 50 or slightly under 50.
And who said bass fishing wasn't a gamble?
So they're going to live stream it, and literally the fate of the 100 anglers is determined on a coin flip.
Buy a metal coin.
So we're definitely going to be what I was thinking, Frank. I hate planning stuff with you. I hate planning stuff with you impromptu without it. But we'll be done here 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I don't know what you're doing for that next between 9:30 and 10 a.m., but I would like to reboot the show, bring you back as a guest of Bass Talk Live, not of Day 4. Run the intro, have it sponsored by the BTL new merchandise store that is now open. Link at basstalklive.com or in the YouTube description with your signature series apparel and all new designs, limited edition of 100 on the hats. And we do a countdown to flip off.
Whatever you want to do, man. I'm sitting right here, sort of next to you. I'm in.
If you're good with that, we're going to do that. So then we can dive into this show. We don't have to talk anymore about what's going on at Bassmaster, and then we can come back. We'll end this show, and then we'll reboot it. If you guys are interested in that,
let's
jump back on, and we'll do a countdown to flip off. Is what I was going to call it. Sponsored by the new merchandise. I glossed over that. The new merch store is open. Frank.
It's open for business.
Link in the bio. Big shout out to Catherine from ATS Printing for getting that done.
They did.
There it is. There's the smallmouth shirts. A bunch of different colors. So the white or the cream color with the green on it. We're just going to run through this stuff really quick. The red. I really like that dark army green, like with that. Isn't that one sick? That's a Frank SCALISH signature series. Smallmouth. The store's open for 14 days. That's it. So $30 a pop on that. Then this is the signature Nightcrawler t-shirt. This is the one that you're currently wearing, I believe. Green BTL on the front. The Frank SCALISH signature series smallmouth on the back with the autograph, with the comfort colors, thick tee. The neck doesn't stretch out.
No, it doesn't. And I could attest to that.
Then we threw some other stuff in. We've got the a hooded sun shirt. Just, there was some people that wanted some long sleeve options. This was a specific Frank SCALISH request. This is the only color in that saddle color. It's the Cleveland Browns color hoodie with the subtle smallmouth signature on the front.
And I love that. I love that.
That is a thicker, like I would recommend ordering like once. It does not shrink that much, but if I were a large hoodie, I would order an extra large.
Yeah, I usually get the 2X, and then it fits perfect.
It gets a little bit of
Okay,
this is where it gets good. The structural elements.
Oh, drunk. That is taking a shot right now.
That is a straight BTL listener shirt. We've got the green with the structural 1 foot contour lines behind it. I thought that was pretty cool.
I love that too, man.
And then I kept the blue, and then probably the best one out of that is that gray one right there, the structural element. That's a one-time only shirt.
I like all of them, dude.
Yeah.
I like all the colors in that. Actually.
So, but that with that t-shirt and what we're doing, that's about as low as I can get it at $30 a t-shirt. Now you're going to have shipping and handling, but there's no way to do it lower to actually have any sort of margin on it.
Yeah.
Without compromising the quality of the garment. And quite frankly, a cheap t-shirt for $25 doesn't do it for me.
No way. I can't stand cheap t-shirts. You wash them twice, the collar's all wrinkled and stretched out.
So that's why it's $30. We're not making anything more on that. This is all appreciation for the old Frank SCALISH over here on the Frank drop. But that extra $5 from what it has been is literally the extra $5 for the t-shirt to upgrade it.
Yeah, but it's worth it in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's way worth it.
I just wanted to say that. All right, now let's get to the hats because this is where things get interesting, Frank. Did not want to just offer the Richardson 112 trucker. I know that is somewhat becoming dated. The cool kids, the people out with oddly shaped egg heads. or like hey, it doesn't fit, or sometimes it keeps. So this is the smallmouth bass patch right here. We ordered 100 of those. So between all three of these, there's only 100 of these hats, 100 of these patches out there. So that's all there is. When they're gone, they're gone. But here's the cool thing. You have the option of the Richardson 112 that I have here in either the gray or the black. You also have, and this is probably my current favorite hat.
That's my favorite.
The Pacific Trucker Snapback.
That's my favorite.
That one in the tan or the black with the braid like that. Like,
I kind of like the tan.
Yeah, I really like the tan. Catherine did a good job on that. And then for all the West Coasters, the Umpqua. This is the hat that, like, if you see Brandon Polinick wearing hats and stuff, that is that style of hat. It's kind of like I don't want to say a hippie hat, but it's less structure on it. It doesn't have it's more of what
it's
the
soft.
cool,
it's like a
soft.
Hat.
It's what the cool kids are wearing these days. Dude, I really like that. The gray with the white patch and
that looks good, man. I like the olive, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, between all of those, there's 100. So if you want to get a Frank Scalish Signature Series hat, I'd highly recommend doing it. Store will be open for 2 weeks. Links in the bio, all that. And then let's get it. We'll do this. Like, listen, I know this. We're going to take a break. When we come back on QVC. I mean, I literally feel like we're on QVC. Do you not?
Yeah, I do.
I was going to pull up a QVC clip. Remember when we did the
trading
card guy?
Yeah,
QVC clip. Standard BTL shirt. So these are a different shirt. These are what the last BTL shirts were. These are a little bit more form-fitting, still the high-quality T-shirt. Not like a Hanes tee, like a different type of tee. So we did a couple different interesting colors. I know when we did the St. Jude fundraiser, these colors were really popular. So I wanted to throw in some kind of natural colors. Obviously, the black and green still available. You got me on that. A couple heritage colors of the classic hoodies, that hoodie. I love that hoodie, Frank.
I do too, man. I there's something about that hoodie, that color that I just like.
$54 for a hoodie. That's literally the lowest margins you can get on a hoodie. But wait, there's more.
But don't have yet. You get your set of kids.
You got the classic tee, the classic heavyweight T-shirt. So here's the case. So this is like one of the first merch drops in my 40s. You got to have the business polo. You want to go golfing. You want to impress, you're on your third or fourth marriage and you want to impress your wife's elderly parents. Throw on a Bass Talk Live.
Yeah, go to the blue one, the turquoise one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the impressor.
A Regain polo, and you are sure to impress. Obviously, the black with the green. I really like the gray with the green on it, but $45. In all honesty, I just wanted something I could golf in.
That's great.
And then I did the same thing with BTL. There's only 100 of these patches. These are actually rubber patches in here, Frank. Rubber patches that are stamped on it. They look freaking badass. There's 100 of those hats. I did it in that, but here also the Pacific Trucker. That one right there to me is cash money.
Yeah, that's a good looking hat too.
$30 those are the specialty BTL hats, and then a couple down here. They're in like different sizes. Like if you're a big dude or other sizes, or you like a different hat with no structure for BTL, those are all like on clearance. So big shout out to Catherine. That was probably the hardest sell we've ever done on the show, but hey, it is what it is, Frank.
Well, but we have a lot of merch on there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I wish it would go more than 2 weeks, but that's because like I can't even figure out what I want. This is the greatest thing ever.
What's it Sam Max said, get any of these hats or t-shirts. You're the cock of the walk, baby. Jacob Wheeler is going to want to hang out with you.
Oh, that is so funny.
But greatly appreciate it. We don't listen, we don't make this is literally we don't what I use the BTL merch money for is to pay for the website, to pay for the StreamYard stuff, to pay for the podcasting platform, to pay for the next merch drop. So it's not like, we're over here, Frank and I, planning a trip to Aruba with some high-end sunscreen.
Hey, what are the topics of today's show going to be?
All right. In keeping with
the tradition of
the Bassmaster tradition, and remember, we're only going to probably have half an hour to talk about them after we've bloviated this long. The two topics for the show, we're going to let fate decide. What I have here is a 2021 Bass Nation regional coin.
Ooh.
This coin was given out to those who participated in Anderson, South Carolina, La Crosse, Wisconsin, Junction City, Kansas, and Havasu City, Arizona. There it is right there. So the Bass Nation emblem on one side will be heads. The Bassmaster logo on the other side will be tails. Heads will be learning from failure, will be today's topic. Tails, wait, which one was heads? Yeah, heads is the 2021. Tails
is the logo.
Is the logo, and that topic will be the joys of duckweed.
Oh, this gets better every day.
Heads, learning from failure. Tails, the joys of duckweed.
Who doesn't love a little duckweed every now and then?
All right, I'm gonna flip the coin of fate, the Bassmaster coin of fate, to determine what the rest of the show will revolve around.
Oh boy, here we go.
Call it in the air.
Oh shoot, I forgot to call it.
Oh no, we already have controversy.
That's the problem with the coin toss.
Okay.
All right, ready? Hold on. It's heads or tails. So
heads.
Let's go this.
Learning from failure. That's this.
Heads will be learning from failure.
That's that.
And then tails will be the joys of duckweed. Hold on, I better write this down.
Yep. A lot of people on Team Duckweed, shockingly. Some would say that Team Duckweed. Some will say learning from failure is the silent majority, though.
Yeah. All right. So heads is learning from failure.
Yep.
All right.
Call it in there.
Learning from failure.
There it is. Heads. Learning from failure. Today's show number 215, day 4 with Frank Scalish. And today, Frank, we are going to talk about learning from failure, particularly in a very interesting time of the year that we find ourselves in. Take it away.
Yeah. So, I'm so glad it hit that because I did not want to do duckweed. Yeah. So we're going into that summer to fall transition right now. And full disclosure, I was out the other day and I wanted to dial in all my new units. So I picked a lake that I grew up fishing on. Haven't fished it, bass fished it in quite a long time. But it's a great structure lake, and there's zero grass in the lake. It's a total 100% structure lake, and it's the best lake to go check the units out on because I can do rocks, ledges, stumps, old bridges, all kinds of stuff in there. So I could really see what color palette I want. I can really tweak the side imaging out and get everything. So I wanted to go there specifically to make sure that my units were precise. The other reason I wanted to go there is usually around this time of year, they start pulling the water. And if you hit it at the right time, it's an absolute slugfest, and it is so much fun. Otherwise, this lake can be stingy at times. I mean, like really stingy at times. But to be honest with you, 3 or 4 years ago, I took a buddy of mine up there and hit it 100% perfect. The water was just starting to draw down. It was probably down about a foot. Pooling water every single day. Current was moving through the system. All the shad were on these points on the down current side of the points, and on the front of the points where the current was washing over the high spot. And the bass were feeding on them like it was like mad. And when this is my preconceived notion for the other day, because I've done this numerous times on this lake with incredible success. So I just happened to call Frankie, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, lake's down like 4 feet." I go, "Holy shit, when did they pull?" They said like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so right then and there, I got a pit in my stomach because I know I'm late to the party. Okay. So I'm going to backtrack 1 second. So the summer to fall transition, I usually will start out offshore and work my way to the bank. All right. That's normally how I approach summer to fall, because I'm trying to find how far in the fish have already moved. And if I'm in front of them, I'll never get to them. I gotta fish my way into them. So that's kind of how I do the summer to fall. I just basically I follow the structure and follow the bait.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, so I know that I'm getting to this lake, and I know it's already drawn down.
Right.
Now I want to try to make something happen. So traditionally, when I get into this position where I know I'm going to run points, it's got to be rocky points, rock and gravel, hard bottom points, not mud, clay points. It's got to be hard. I know that I'm going to run these things with a square bill and a buzzbait, but not just any buzzbait. I want a 1/4 ounce buzzbait. I want something small, because
the
shad
baby buzz.
Yeah, the shad are small. And so I want something small. And like I said, if you hit it right, you'll have one of the greatest, easiest fishing days of your life. And so I knew when I got there, I was late. Okay, I missed it. So I said, I'm not doing anything, but I'm going to go run up this lake, and I'm going to hit all these rocky points, even though I'm late. I launch the boat, and I start hightailing it down the lake, and I go, "Oh, I can't pass that up."
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no. I
swear,
see where this is going.
I swear. And I turn around and I go to this offshore ledge that's connected to the mainland that I usually crush them on it. And I start fishing it. And the whole time I'm fishing it, I'll be honest with you, I got 2 Carolina rigs. I've got a Norman NXS, a fat-free 7, and a fat-free 6. And I start fishing it. And I'm 10, 15 minutes into this, and I go, "What am I doing? I got to get to the points before the sun gets hot."
Game plan is already shot.
Right. What am I doing? I'm wasting time. So I throw everything in the boat, back on plane, and down the lake I go, and I go, "Wait a minute. I can't pass this up. It could happen." I spin the boat around. I go to this other spot, and what it is, it's a big flat with a creek channel that cuts.
It's not a rocky point.
No, it's not. And I slide up on there, and now the wind quits. I get there, and the wind quits. It's like a mirage. It's so slick out, and I can see bait fish all over the flat, ticking. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna run a square bill on top of that flat. I know they're on that flat. The bait's everywhere. I start honking the square bill down the flat, and I go, I'm blowing this. I'm blowing the whole day because I needed to be on the points in the morning. And so I go, no, I can't fish here. I got to go do what I was going to do. And I run up the lake farther, and I get to the first point, and I pick up my square bill and I fire it out there. Boom, I get one on the first cast, and I go, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to work. And then I fish like 5 more points. I catch another one. And when I get back to where it's really pointy, like there's a lot of them, which is one of my favorite sections of this place, there's a bass boat on every one of them. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I spent an hour and a half doing what I should never have done in the morning, and I missed this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really pissed. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I made a mistake. I mean, I just knew it. And so I said, okay, so these guys are beating these points to a froth. Let me get back to the nitty gritty. So in between 2 really good points, the river channel makes a little S bend, and right into one S bend, it mounds up, and it's only like 4 feet deep with the water down. It's only 4 feet deep on the top of it, and it's craggy, snaggy rock. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to catch them. I'm going to catch them there. So I start fishing that, and I'm not catching any bass, and I'm seeing bait fish everywhere. They're in the backs of the pockets. They're out on the flats. They're in the middle of the lake on the main lake. Like, I've never seen bait that didn't have its preference on its location. It didn't matter. So I ran some pockets, didn't catch them, and I started. Now I'm out. I'm spun out, like legit spun out. I'm running to
now
the
you're
back.
in salvage mode. You're trying to make something out of the
yes.
day, and you're just trying. You're literally hoping that you hit something that you can get a clue on, and then run with it regardless of what it is.
100%.
Okay,
well,
it's not a bad feeling. I think it happens to all of us, Frank. I mean, every single person who's fished has gone into that mode where they're like, all right, you've talked about it. Let's just try to get a clue.
Right. And so what happened was I got to take a breath because my ADHD is kicking in. So what happened was I became random. I didn't have my method of attack in place. So I started bumping from here to there, from in to out, from out to in, points, pockets, boat docks. I started doing just willy-nilly stuff.
Yeah, it's like when I'll say this in my younger days. It's like when you go to the bar with your buddies, and you've got a lot of options down there, but you have your starting bar, and you're like, hey, we're gonna go do this, and we're gonna go get something to eat, but you have a few too many at the starting bar, and then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and you've been to 9 bars, and you have absolutely no idea what's going on or why or how you ended up into it. And you have that moment of clarity in the 8th bar that is like and you're looking around, and you're wearing a flannel shirt, and you're going, how in the hell did I end up here? I need to go home.
100%.
Is that a decent comparison, Frank?
100%.
Okay.
So in my indecision and breaking my own rules, basically because of history, and not thinking in the moment, but thinking about what has happened, or I can't read it. My bar came across.
He said, so basically how I fish every day, Northeast Bass Fishing.
That's so good, man. You guys are so funny. So so at any rate, so I'm all over the board. Now it's afternoon. There's not a ripple on the water, and the shad are everywhere. Anywhere I go, anywhere, any depth, anywhere I go, any place I shut the boat down, it's just wall-to-wall shad. So I said, okay, let's regroup. I'm going to offshore fish main river ledges because it's slick flat, the sun is out, the bait is everywhere, and I'm just going to methodically start going through these these structure breaks, and what I'm looking for is secondary channels off the main river channel. So all those convergences, because they're super high percentage areas. So all those convergences I'm going to fish. So here's what I got. I've got my 3 cranking rods, 2 Carolina rig rods, 2 minnows out. Now let me think, am I missing anything? And 2 square bill rods out. So if I approach one of the ledges and it's shallow enough for the square bill, I could run the square bills over the top of it, still touching the rocks, in that 4 to 5 foot range. And then I can back off and I can deep crank it, Carolina rig it, or minnow it, et cetera, et cetera. So anyhow, I'm at this one split, and it's actually one of my favorite places. And I'm so pumped because there's, other than the half a dozen or 10 bass boats I saw up the lake, there's nobody in the section I'm in. And there's no pleasure boats in the section I'm in. And so I'm like, oh, this is going to be enjoyable. I got no waves. I can take my time. I can pick this stuff apart. It's going to be beautiful. As soon as I start fishing my way around the ledge from the first secondary creek channel, fishing my way around the ledge, here comes this open transom boat, like a fishing boat, like for stripers. Mm-hmm. And he gets 40 yards in front of me, idling all over the top of the flat, which is only like 5 or 6 feet deep. drops his anchor out. Anchor, and then backs the boat up towards the edge of the flat, towards the edge of the drop off.
What the hell's he fishing for?
Probably stripers or hybrids. So I'm like, okay, that irritates me because he did it right on the swing. So I'm like, okay, well, there's 3 more intersections beyond him. I'm just going to go, yeah, Kirk, you're right. Here we go. So I'm just going to go around him. I'm going to idle around him, get about 30 yards past him, and just keep fishing away from where he's anchored. So I do this, and I'm bass fishing, and I'm scoping out to see where the boulders are and the break line and everything else. I'm doing this, and I see like 10 bowling balls on the bottom, half bowling balls moving around on the bottom. And I'm like, those got to be carp because they're way too big for bass. I threw the crankbait out there and they go away from it. They move away from the crankbait. I'm like, those got to be carp because they're running away from my crankbait. I go, let me pick the minnow up. I lob the minnow out there. It's going down real nice. I start shaking it, and one of them blobs goes, boom, and my rod just goes, boom, and I go, and it goes, and the drag just keeps going. And I was like, holy crap. So I hit spot lock, and I'm just sitting there with my spinning rod. I was using a Powell 6.5 foot endurance spinning rod, and I'm just holding it, and it's ripping drag. And so I know what I got now. I mean, I'm 100%. I know what I got, and it's going. And them guys in the boat are watching me because they can hear that spinning reel drag cooking. So I get the fish turned around. I'm reeling up to it. I finally landed after a while. It made 3 good runs. Yeah, so I got on those bad boys. They were the biggest hybrids I've ever seen in my life. So the first one that I caught was just under 14 pounds. Like it was like 13, 14. It was almost a 14 pounder. And so that's, those things were gigantic. So I land the fish. I take a quick picture of it. I throw it on the scale and I let it go. And I don't think nothing of it. I go, yeah, that was cool. And I go back to bass fishing. And as I'm going back to bass fishing, I see another set of blobs on the bottom. So I go, yeah, I'm going to catch one more. Pick up the minnow. I fire it out there. Boom, I got another one, and it's taking off, man. And I'm fighting it up there. Anyway, the long and short of the story is, all right, these guys in the boat, they watched me catch a bunch of them, and they finally just left, all right? And I said, this is a lot of fun, but I'm by myself, and I'm not bass fishing now. Well, they're theoretically they're true bass, but I'm not largemouth or smallmouth fishing anymore. I'm catching these things. I'm just going to pack up and go and be done with it. So I'm packing up all my stuff, and now the pleasure boaters are coming out, the big scarabs, all show, no go, whoa, big lot, boom, boom, they're running all over the place. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to sit here and blast on these things. And so I put everything away but the minnow, and had a party for about an hour. It was so much fun. I couldn't believe how big they were. So I weighed them. All right. And I was weighing them because I never caught hybrids that big. I mean,
they were massive, Frank.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've caught 7-pounders and 8-pounders, but I've never broken double digits on them. Do you know that I landed 10 of them, and it took me, the fight was so good, it took me literally, 8 minutes, 9 minutes to get them to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so much fun, but I weighed them because I wanted to see, because every one, some look like clones, some look bigger. So the smallest one I got was 10.6. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe that.
Dude, so I got into them when we were trying to do the Master Angler deal with Matt Steffen this past fall. And they basically grow about a pound a year. And down here in the South, they live 6 to 8 years. And the further north you go, they obviously live a little bit longer like that. But
because
that's why,
but
for the most part, they grow really freaking fast and have a fairly short lifespan. So like that window on those big ones up there on that lake that you're on, it depends on if they stock them. So if they stock them every single year in there, then you'll always have some bigger ones. But like Grand, they stocked them. I was like, where did all these big fish come from? They stocked them in like 2019. So 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, most of the ones we were catching were between 6 and 7 pounds.
Wow.
So like it just, if you can probably find the stocking deal on it, and then you'll know like, hey, like I've only got a year left on this fishery before these suckers start dying from old age.
Well, yeah. I didn't even know the lake had a minute. To be honest with you, I fished it my entire life. I didn't even know the lake had a minute. So, but it was incredible. So here's a funny enough thing. So I got Juice's half shell recipe, and my main goal, I was going to take one and bring it home and do it on the half shell. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not cleaning these things. I'm just going to let them go. I can come back and get them again. I know I can. So I'm just going to let them go. So I had fun for a little while, probably about an hour, maybe a little longer. I stayed on them. And here's the oddest thing. So Matt, when last year I found them there, and they were, 7-pounders, and they were all suspending over the main river channel, under bait. The bait was all out in the middle of the lake, down about 12 feet, and all the hybrids were underneath them. And so I was scoping them with the crankbait. And when I would run the crankbait through the bait fish, you know how the bait splits? The bait fish would split, and then I would work it like a jerk bait underneath them, and you'd see the hybrids come up and just, there'd be like 5 or 6 of them trying to get the crankbait. So anyway, so this time they were plastered to the bottom, plastered. And the bait was anywhere from 4 feet to 12 feet. And it was literally from the bottom to the top of bait. And I didn't understand why them things were plastered to the bottom like that.
My thought on that is they are vertical feeders, and it's always easier to feed up than it is to feed down, which is why the minnow works really well on them. The jigging spoon works really well. It's why when you have the crankbait, you'll have 5 or 6 that are following it, that it's hard to actually get them to hook up. They want to go behind it. When it comes to the hybrids, the white bass, the striper, vertical is a lot better than horizontal presentations. That's why you'll see a lot of the striper boats on Texoma and stuff that are using the vertical jigging spoons.
Right.
That's why a lot of times you'll see on that minnow, I bet you were finding you were either popping the minnow to get them to eat it, or they were eating the minnow on the initial descent as you first started to bring it up, boom, 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 and they'd eat it. It wasn't like when you were hovering it and shaking it.
No, yeah. So here's what I had to do. I had to just reel it in.
Yeah, so you're getting vertical.
Yes.
Oh, you're getting it down to the bottom and it's moving up. So for some reason they're very vertical oriented on their
Makes
eating.
sense.
So
it makes sense.
Whenever I've seen them and stuff, they like to always be below the bait. So you're talking about how much bait there is. So they like to go up through the bait. Largemouth, they'll cut through. You'll see them on top and go down. Hybrids, you will almost always never see do this. You'll see them do this.
Yep.
And you'll see them do this.
That's exactly what they were doing. And here's the crazy thing. So when I was shaking the minnow over them, like traditional bass style, shaking it, they come up to it and turn right away.
Yeah. I bet you, like most people, if they've ever caught one, they're like shaking it, or if they're throwing a minnow, and then once they're like, I don't know what those are, and they start reeling the crap in, boom.
Yeah.
That's how you have to trigger a vertical reaction on those hybrids.
So that was interesting. Good learning curve, but I got my units dialed in. Scott was a huge help, dude. Huge help. Because there was some settings that I had forgotten about. Because I set it and forget it.
Yeah, so do I.
Part.
But you didn't keep them?
What's that?
You didn't keep them?
Not a one of them. But here, I have a plan. Okay, I have a plan.
Okay.
So you guys know Troy. We've had Troy on the show before. My buddy from North Carolina, who actually used to live up here, but he moved there a million years ago. So anyway, he's coming in town next week, and so him and I do like Advent gar fishing things. Like one time we just went gar fishing. We were just going to do nothing but go catch garfish. So we went to Kentucky Lake and we gar fished. We just do crazy stuff.
The only thing Kentucky Lake is good for.
Yeah, well, it's coming back. It's actually coming back. So anyway, so Troy's coming up, and so here's the plan. We're bass fishing for 2 days, then we're muskie fishing, then we're crappie fishing, and then we're going for the hybrids.
I like it.
Yeah, and so he'll be here next Thursday. So we'll pull him on and we'll give you the
rundown.
Yeah, we'll give you the report up until Thursday. It'll be fun if the weather cooperates. I hope it does, because it's going to be, we'll wind up catching some big muskies. We're definitely going to catch those big hybrids. And then I think we're going to bring a couple of them home and
half shell
the sides off of them. Yeah.
I think hybrid is one of the most underrated food fish.
Yeah. See, I had a buddy of mine tell me they're horrible.
No, they're phenomenal. They're
right.
Some of my favorite fish to eat.
I mean, it's like a striper.
It's almost like a saltwater fish almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on the half shell. You know what else is underrated is the BTL merchandise, which is now available on the BTL merch store. You can go to basstalklive.com. Only open for about 2 weeks. And this is the smallmouth collection from Frank Scalish, the one-time offer of the structural element shirt. Only 100 of the Frank Scalish signature series patch hats. You can choose between Richardson 112, the Pacific Trucker, or the smallmouth Umpqua Gramps hat. moving on down to the BTL merchandise, only 100 of the Circle patches. Those are actually rubberized patches on it in the Pacific Trucker Snapback or the Richardson. A little bit of classy offerings this year with the collared polo and some more natural offerings. Then a little bit of clearance section down there at the bottom. You want to get in a festive mood. I think we got some 2Xs on that left. So link in the bio for the show. And also you can go to basstalklive.com, link on it right there on the front page, or the shop BTL tab.
Yeah, I have to get some clothes. I got to get a BTL hoodie. I love the black hoodie with the green BTL on it. I got to get it. Of course, I got to get my smallmouth shirt too, because, you know.
Yeah, I have to get with Catherine and make sure I've got, because I definitely want a couple of those hats. Like, there's several times where we've been at the Classic doing meet and greets and someone walks up in some BTL swag and I'm like, huh, never got that one. There's still one shirt that if you ever sign off on it will be the best selling all-time shirt in the history of the BTL merch store. Like, it might go mainstream.
I'm
but
not
like I said,
off on it.
I respect your decision on it. I think it would be a baller move.
No.
I think it would be a power move. I'll take. Can we next time we do a merch drop? Can we flip a coin on whether or not to put it into production?
It seems to be the thing to do these days.
Let fate decide.
It seems to be the thing to do these days. Is flip a coin. Boy, Bass is going to be pissed, man.
No, they're not.
I know.
They want people talking about it. It's a spectacle. It's an event. What do you want for that? You want people talking about it. You want to generate interest. Something else that generated interest. Guy, I'm on the transitions today.
You're doing good.
It's the 25th anniversary of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Oh my God. How could I forget about that? I'm getting ready to go to that thing.
Yeah, we mentioned this before. Frank painted 5 commemorative lures with Roland Martin, Rick Clunn, Larry Nixon, Bill Dance, and Bobby Murray. There are still, what you were saying, a couple of those left?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number.
Not many.
Not many. So I wound up buying a complete set, and then I got a bug up my butt, and I said I want to fish the greenback gizzard. So I bought 6 of those, and then of course enchilada sauce, springtime red. I bought 9 of those. I'm like, because I want to fish with them. Yes, I want the whole collection. So I bought 1 full collection to keep, and then I bought the ones I want to fish with for myself. I wish the peacock bass and the green gizzard would go into the line.
Well, you know someone, like, you could make that call, I feel like.
I don't know if they can do that because they said they were one of a kind, I think.
Oh, you think that? Yeah, no, I got you.
But I think those 2 colors in the spooks would be.
Why not throw the other deal up there? I got the Roland Martin and the Rick Clunn. I literally got 1 of each. I just thought that it would go really well with the number 7 spook, like, just to get some of your coolest painted, one-offs of it.
Right on. Right on.
And they're supposed to be here today, so I'm literally kind of listening, like on the same way you were with your stuff. I've listened to see. I was hoping they would come during the show, but here's what I am going to do, Frank. I am going to bring them to Springfield.
Okay.
For the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, and I want to get a picture of you with Roland Martin holding that bait and a picture of you with Rick Clunn holding that bait, and then I'm going to put them in like a little shadow box with the photo of
That's
Rick
pretty cool
and you
idea.
Holding that bait for the 25th anniversary with their Hall of Fame jacket on, and it'll be like just a little, kind of like the shadow box like I have
Dude, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, so like I have this shadow box in the background right there of like
Yeah,
Jordan Lee when he won the Classic. Same thing that I'm going to do, except I want to do that at the Hall of Fame.
That's pretty cool, man.
Also dropping. Oh, we got all sorts of stuff here. Make sure if you guys have not ordered it and are going to order it, LureNet loyal listener code BTL25. I did not use the code when I ordered it. I was on the water. It was raining. I said, crap. I didn't save.
Dude, I used the code.
15. I know. Capital BTL25, 15% off regularly priced items. If you want to use that code. Also coming up, I believe on the 21st, 22nd, keep your eyes and ears open for the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame silent auction, which will have one of the original paint job from Frank Scalish, one of each of these in the shadow box, one of a kind, one of the coolest things we've ever seen.
Yeah, I put the shadow box together with my originals that I painted for this. I signed them all. The other guys didn't sign those ones because they didn't have them. And I built a shadow box prior to this Hall of Fame meeting that we're going to in September. I built it prior to that so I could give it to them at the Classic. Mm-hmm. You know, I could present it to the Hall of Fame at the Classic.
Listen, we just told you a bunch of things that you can buy, participate in, bid on, do. No obligation to do any of that. We appreciate every single one of the BTL viewers and listeners. And if you have $50 disposable income to get the baits or to get a Frank Scalish hat or shirt, we appreciate the hell out of it. If you don't, we'll still always be here every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time, talking bass fishing and hopefully making you laugh. I hate the feeling of like pushing things. That's why I kind of make fun of it with like the you know, you can take that L away, you'll have hot chicks one day. Like that's why I kind of try to do it. But also, we're both independent contractors. So this is how we do it. This is how we make our living. This is our livelihood. We don't. It is free to listen to watch, to do it. We love engaging. So if that's something that you guys choose to do, instead of just trying to say, hey, give us money, this and this, we try to do stuff that gives value back to you guys. That's what the design of the t-shirts, the meaning behind it, the painted stuff. So like I said, my biggest fear on this, and I've talked with LureNet about it, I've talked with you about it, I've talked with a bunch of guys, is turning this into an infomercial. But anytime you have a signature series, anytime you have this clothing, anytime we have something for St. Jude, which we will have, I have to talk to you more about that off air, which we will have some opportunities to where you can donate 100% to St. Jude, but have the opportunity to get a lot back. Those are pretty much the 3 times we'll ask you for stuff.
Yeah, I just, I like to keep the show. The fans you guys are the best, bar none. Some of the DMs I get on Instagram from you guys are hilarious.
Did you get the guy who sent you the one of the jet ski rally?
Yeah,
dude. I can't remember who that was. That was absolutely hilarious.
That was so funny. He sends a little video of, I don't know if it was actually himself or someone else. They were fishing right inside the no wake buoy, and then off goes about 200 jet skis.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at these idiots.
Right, exactly. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, welcome to Ohio, bro. That's every day.
And then I have not mentioned this for a number of weeks, and I remember it. So on day 1 of Leech at the Open, I roll in, and there's a gentleman. If it was you, message me or email me, matt@bassown.com, because I owe you a official thank you note. There's a gentleman who was standing at the dock, like it's like this weird dock. So basically I was a quarter mile away from where I needed to get my bag, but there's like a little bridge to go over it. And I'm like, I find like this little dock I can back up to. It's windy. I just barely made it in. I had a 19-pound bag. I was trying to get my patch pit. It was just, how the weigh-in chaos is. Like, I had one that was a little bit on his side, but all had good color and were healthy. But I was like, I'd like to get that fish through the bag line. And there's a gentleman that was standing there with a bag, and he's like, "Here you go, Matt." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Good to see you." And he gave me a bag of I just looked at the top one because it was the first day of the tournament. Completely legal, nothing wrong. But I didn't want to like look at it and then like use something that following day. So
right.
I tucked it in the boat. It was all like vintage baits that we've talked about, different types of worms, different types of plastics that are no longer in production, zipper worms, stuff like that.
No kidding.
And I keep forgetting to mention it because I looked at it after the tournament was over the following day, pulled it out, and was like, oh, these are all like kind of one-off, really cool, unique packs of plastic. So I wanted to officially reach out and say thank you on that because, he gave it to me. I shook his hand, we chatted, but I wasn't able to get, kind of that one-on-one time. I was making sure my boat wasn't banging into the metal, all sorts of stuff.
And you had fish to get in.
And I had fish to get in.
Right.
So I took it and I said, hey, thanks. I really appreciate it. I didn't want another competitor to be like, oh, is that guy giving you like baits during the tournament? They were all like, like old stuff we had talked about. And then I forgot about it, until the following day. So I wanted to mention that. If that was you, cannot thank you enough. Greatly appreciate it. I've also never answered the Apple guy, which had just occurred by looking at the Apple. Our teacher who gave us the Apple that we both have at, that was about a month ago. So I got some emails to catch up on.
Way to go. Way to keep up on it, man.
I know. I'm just getting. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to close this. Then we're going to fire it back up. It's going to be a BTL show with Frank. So you could say whatever you want. You could wear what you could do, whatever the hell you want on this, Frank. It's just going to be a quick 25-minute pregame show prior to the official Bassmaster coin flip to determine the 2026 season, forward-facing sonar or no. Then after the show, head over to Andrew Upshaw Fishing at 11 a.m. Central Time, where myself, Todd Castledine, Ish Monroe, and all that, we will be on analyzing the results of the coin flip.
Outstanding. Excitement abounds.
Excitement abounds. All right, this has been another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. Same time, same place. Next week we'll talk to everyone then. See ya.
Bye.